Life is an amazing podcast, and it is presented and hosted by myself, Caro, and my sweet dog, Sparky. Give it up for him. I hope you're ready. Enjoy. So welcome back to another episode of Go For Your Life. And I'm here with Valentina.
Hello.
Bella Valentina.
Ciao.
Ciao. We're sitting again on my table here in Amsterdam, which is awesome because, I've been doing this on Skype for a long time because we weren't allowed to be in each other's company. Social distancing, but we're not socially distanced today. Here we are together.
Here we are.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We just had some of your amazing tempeh already. So let me tell the people who are listening. I'm obsessed with your tempeh. You make your own tempeh.
I do, yes.
And is that something? Tell us a little bit. Like, how long have you been making it, and why do you do that?
Well, it all started many years ago when me and my actual husband decided to go vegan, actually. Mm-hmm. And we always loved to make our own food. We tried with everything, with seitan, tofu, baking, making pasta, pizza, whatever you can think of. And then we landed on tempeh, and recently we started making it more regularly, mm-hmm. and enjoying it really a lot. And after that, we started giving it out to friends and colleagues and people around us, and then they were coming back asking for more, and we never stopped, and I never stopped after that.
Yeah.
And it's basically since October last year,
mm-hmm.
that I do it on a regular basis, and I started selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know what tempeh is, like what is actually tempeh?
Tempeh is a product that comes originally from Indonesia. Mm-hmm. It's traditionally made from soybeans. So the soy is cooked, and then it's dried out, and a starter is added. The starter starts the fermentation, and the beans are turned into this white, thick cake. Mm-hmm. The amazing thing that I'm always very fascinated about is the fact that you can basically do it with any kind of beans, and mm-hmm. grains, seeds, and other products. Mm-hmm. And the texture and the taste really change. So a lot of people that don't like soy has infinite possibilities of finding their tempeh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's basically something also very healthy, because unlike tofu, it's not a processed food. Mm-hmm. It's not refined. You have whole soybeans or whole beans that in general are their nutritional value is also improved by the fermentation.
Yeah, I just want to say because they fermented, right?
So the nutrients became more available, and
And how did you already know what kind of starter to use? Because you do need like any other fermentation process, you need a starter.
There's a specific starter you need to use, and the Rhizopus is the name of the starter. Mm-hmm. And then you have two subfamilies. One is the Oligosporus, and the other one is the Oryza. Mm-hmm. They both produce tempeh with slightly different flavors, mm-hmm. But that's the type of starter you need to use.
And how does one get a starter like that? Do you buy these starters, or do you make them yourself?
Both is possible. Mm-hmm. I prefer to buy it from a lab that gives a constant result, and I can have a standard product. Mm-hmm. But you can also make it yourself. So basically everything that it's made through fermentation, you are able to reproduce yourself, because it's a very simple and popular and ancient technique. So also tempeh would be possible to make it starting from an already existing tempeh. So in that case, you have to let it overgrow, mm-hmm. In a way that the mycelium, which is the starter, will start to spread. And in that babies. Moment, in that moment you can
pregnating your starter.
Try it out and then use it for the next batches.
Okay, and so because. Like, was it something? Did you see anybody else make tempeh, or did you really just like do it all yourself and start like?
Well, no. The funny thing is that the first time I ever tried tempeh, I didn't like it. Can I say that? Yeah. No, I didn't like it because it was one of these store-bought tempeh already seasoned with soy, and I find it a bit weird texture. Not my taste. So for me, that was it. My experience with tempeh could have been that. Then my husband started to making it himself, mm-hmm. and then was a total different thing. Yeah. And then since then we just kept on doing it.
Yeah. And is it still you two together, or is it now you making?
No, I make it myself. Yeah.
Is husband still like looking over your shoulder?
No, he's super busy with kombucha, kefir drinks, and other things. Yeah.
Oh, you have like
at home,
a whole food lab at home.
Yeah.
So your husband actually makes his own kombucha then?
Yeah.
Oh.
A very nice one.
And also he sells that as well, or?
No, it's still between us. Yeah.
Between us.
Yeah.
So one day I can come over and try some of the kombucha.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but it's still there. Yeah, it's interesting because it's not just regular kombucha with teas and fruits as an extra taste. But he's doing now recently one with nettle.
Oh, wow.
Which is really nice. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So there's always something bubbling at home.
I just imagine you guys standing there with, like these lab coats and these like sort of, it's like a science lab at your house. That's amazing.
Kind of, yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. And what is my reaction to your tempeh? What are people liking? Do they have a favorite, you feel?
Yeah, the funny thing is that let's say I have two types standard in the assortment, which are the soy peanuts and the black beans, and those are the most liked ones. But then often I also introduce some other types, like with lentils or split peas, kidney beans, chickpeas, something like this. Yeah. And the people that try it, some of them ask specifically for something without soy. Yeah, and the reaction are really good, and some of them go crazy for split peas, and some of them go crazy for lentils. Yeah, and they really have a different taste and
because to be clear for people, so when you say the green split pea or the lentil or something, then there is absolutely no soy in that. No. So it's literally soy-free tempeh.
Yeah, exactly.
Which does it even exist on the market? I've never seen it.
Not mainstream, but there are many companies or businesses doing it. Yeah,
it's great though, because I do think that's a great question. There's actually something like great question. I'm so good with these questions. No, I'm just saying I think this is a question a lot of people ask. That's why this question is great, not necessarily because it came from me. But a lot of people, especially when I was chefing or when I am chefing, I get a lot like, I don't want any soy, soy. Like, what is your opinion on soy?
Well, usually when we talk about soy, we know that worldwide soy is GMO, but like 95% it's for animal feed. So, there's also been a misinformation about it. Yeah. Everything I use is organic. I only work with organic beans. Yeah. And we know that soy, that is organic. It's not part of that big,
exactly.
Big
no
production.
GMO there. Mm-hmm.
No. I think there's also some misconceptions about soy because of the, like estrogen-like properties that it has. Yeah. And maybe some people are worried about the fact that they may interfere like a hormone would do, but while it's not. So it's just... some misunderstandings, I think, about the soy itself. But I can imagine people that have doubts prefer not to eat it. Yeah. Maybe it would be better to deepen this information about soy, because there's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong about it so far. Yeah. But I also like to give a chance to have something different than soy. Yeah.
But for you personally, you don't think it's a harmful...
No, not at all. It's like I consider it part of a varied diet. Yeah. So
exactly.
Just as much as I don't, I don't eat rice every day. I don't eat soy every day. Yeah. And funny enough, I've started with using so many different beans in tempeh, also because one of my two daughters, there's no way she's gonna eat a whole bean. Like simple.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And in tempeh form, she eats everything.
Yeah.
So
funny,
she could take a bath in hummus, but there's no way she's gonna eat one whole chickpea.
Yeah.
And with tempeh, she just eats everything, every kind of bean. So
No, it's good because I do also really agree with you. I think there is a misconception also about soy, and it became this thing where all of a sudden there were all these soy haters, and and I kind of felt like, well, I don't necessarily see such harm in unless unless you eat it every day. But I think in general, like I think you gotta
no, like everything, it depends.
Variety in your diet.
Like everything can be like medicine or poison in a way. So it depends also how often you eat it, in which form. ideally, everything should be eaten in the most natural way, so not overly processed or refined, so that all the nutrients and everything that needs to digest and process that food, it's already in there. So the less you take off, the better. Yeah. And the same is with soy. I wouldn't see why it should be worse than other beans.
Yeah. And so when you are at your lab at home, so you make them, like, do you because you also work for a wonderful place called Decima.
Yeah, true.
You're pretty much, are you the manager of the grocery store?
I'm a shop manager, yes.
Yeah, shop manager of the grocery. So it's Decima is for everybody who's listening. If you come to Amsterdam, go there and say hi to Valentina. Go buy her tempeh, but also every day there's gorgeous meals in a cafe, and then there's also the store downstairs where you are also for sale. But do you also, was there a time you were making the tempeh there?
I'm making it there now.
Okay.
Yes, because I started at home, and then pretty much soon the space I had at home was not enough anymore. And I was really making it like crazy. Every other day I was making tempeh at home, and was a whole big thing. And then I recently moved in Decima. We have a space upstairs that I can rent for making tempeh, so I'm making it there at the moment.
Perfect, because the process of it, without sharing any secrets, how long does it? Because for example, I make my own cheeses, my own vegan cheese, and people always highly underestimate how long one of those little babies take. So tell us a little bit, like, how long does it take? Yeah, it is a lot of labor of love.
Labor of love. Well, you can say approximately the fermentation process takes from 36 to 48 hours. And like most of the fermentation process, it's depending on temperature and environment. So with the right setup, it's about 2 days. And then, basically you cook the beans in the beginning, then you dry them out, you inoculate the starter, you mix very well, put in bags, and then put it in the right condition to ferment at the right temperature. Basically, you need to pay attention to the temperature for a very simple reason. Because the rhizopus is a fungus, it's a mycelium that grows in a specific range. So you have to give it the best condition to thrive, and to avoid other bacteria or other molds to come in and just spoil the tempeh. So basically, after a couple of days, you're done. You cool it down and you pack it, and that's it.
Wow, that's really amazing. And because we were mentioning that you also, when we were talking just before we were recording this, you were saying and the workshops and stuff. So you also do workshops, and it's something that I was really curious about, is because you just mentioned how long this process is. So do you kind of do some pre-work before people come into your workshop? Because I'm sure it's not a workshop of 48 hours. I would say.
So the thing is that the workshop started live. In Decima, we also used to have a room where we gave cooking classes and workshops, and now it's turned into another lunchroom. So they are on hold for the moment, but I started doing them online. And it's amazing. I was a bit doubtful in the beginning because I never did it, but I love them. I really love them. So what I do, I make contact with the people. I do one-to-one, and I make contact with the people, and I ask what they like to do. Some of them don't want to work with soy, so we find other alternatives. But I prefer to start with soy because it's the easiest one. So if you
then at least you start to understand the process of making it.
So the idea is to make it with something that it's pretty much going to turn out fine, even though there are some mistakes in between. But
then you also understand the science of the making, right?
Exactly. So we prepare everything that needs to be used during the course, and then we literally do the process together. So it's 2 hours workshops. So we cook the beans, and then we go through all the questions, doubts, and the tips to make it turn out fine. And then we put it to ferment, and we stay in contact for the next 2 days. I ask the people to send pictures.
That's so great.
Yeah, it works.
So you're
perfectly.
basically following the whole process.
Yeah. It's amazing because I can really tell what needs to be done and what's about to go wrong if there's something going the wrong direction from a picture. Or from knowing how high or low the temperature is. And so far everybody turned out with